What's going on, people? Welcome back to the opposition preview. It's me, D, and today we'll be looking ahead to the Leicester game with Reedy from Leicester Fan TV to get all the insights. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like and leave down your comments down below, letting us know your thoughts ahead of the game. Reedy, thank you for coming on the channel. Leicester, where should we start with Leicester? Right now, sitting 20th in the league. They've already had a few games where they've conceded more than 5 goals. I am actually like, this is a team that should be finishing or aiming to finish in the top 6. What exactly is going on up there in the Midlands?
Well, firstly, you got to say we kind of lost a few of our biggest players in the window. Obviously, Fofana's gone, Casper's gone, obviously the captain. But Vardy, he's not gone, but he feels like he's gone now because he's just not scoring goals or anything. And the team just looks a bit unconfident, to be honest, because the team's still there. Like I say, the team's still good enough to get top 10 for me. But again, you've just got to look at the performances, and like you say, we have been scoring goals. It's just the defending side, and losing the likes of Casper for us it's just cost us hugely.
Yeah, but from the outside looking in, of course, you lost a few players. Fofana, who I think most Leicester fans are not happy with the way that he left. Casper Schmeichel, big presence in the dressing room. But as you said, you still got decent enough players. And you mentioned about the top 10 there, finishing potentially in the top 10 with this side. Has your expectations changed? Because it's still fairly early in the season. But saying that, it doesn't look like there's much improvement. There's only been that win against Nottingham Forest, and then against Bournemouth, he goes back to the same old Leicester that we've seen so far this season. So has your expectations changed from the start of the season to now? Is it just to stay up? Are you still confident of maybe mid-table, top 10? What is it?
The expectations now are just to stay up at the moment because, like I say, we're literally at the bottom of the table now after the Bournemouth loss, and obviously Forest Forest drew to Villa. And now you've got to look at it saying that if we keep getting these sort of results, we are going to be in a relegation battle. I don't think we are as of now, because I still think we can get out of this kind of hole. But that is a situation where we've not been playing awful at times. It's just we're not getting them goals. We keep letting goals in, and I think we've still got the games in hand before the World Cup now to get a few more points, like yourselves, which obviously I know you want to be winning as well. But going into this game, it's a must win for us, because if we again lose points and the likes of Forest or Wolves get wins, the gap's going to get even bigger. And the expectation now is just to stay in the Premier League, which is mad to say, but at this point it is.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, considering that a few seasons ago, Leicester just missed the top 4. And that was a big issue in itself. Like, why can't Brendan Rodgers get them into the top 4? But talking about Rodgers in itself, you're talking about a must-win game. So if he does not win this game, do you think he could potentially get sacked? What's the situation with him? Because some people were calling for it a few games ago, but he's still at the job.
Well, yeah, our manager was apparently going to be the first sacked at the start of the season. And now, 3 managers have gone, and some of the ones that you wouldn't have thought have gone. So now it gets to the point where you think, will he ever go? If he loses Palace, will he go? I can't see it. As much as I think a lot of Leicester fans want it, I just don't think our club or owners will do it. I just don't think they've got the confidence in him to try and change it. I think I do as well. I think I've got the confidence in him to turn it around, but I just don't know if he's got the legs to do it now, if you know what I mean. He's just not got the. He's in Rodgers' career. He's not been in this position before where he's tried to turn things around and being in like a relegation battle. He's never had that, so I don't know if he's the man to do it. But if he does get it back in a positive kind of spell and get a few games on the run, I think he could still get a top 10 finish if that's the case.
Yeah, look, he's an experienced manager, but the only thing that I'm looking at from the outside in is whether he gets his dressing room, because it seems like the dressing room right now, the confidence ain't too high. Of course, you are scoring goals, and let's talk about your previous game against Bournemouth where you lost 2-1. You won you up, and then in the second half, conceding 2 goals, and it felt like the same old Leicester. But looking at Leicester so far this season, you are 7th in terms of goals scored. Like, there are goals in the side, but despite that, you're sitting 20th in the league. Do you think it's just a case of fixing the defense, or is it more than that? Is it the whole team defending? What exactly is going wrong? There is Danny Ward, but apart from him, surely there must be other players there, or groups of players that's just not performing to the expectation that's needed.
Well, going over to the Bournemouth game, it was a bit of a different one because a lot of the players didn't look like they were interested in the game compared to the Forest game. Obviously, a big derby where a lot of players will be really up for the game, trying to get into challenges and just winning every single 50-50 and whatnot. But going into the Bournemouth game, half the players that we know want to play for Leicester just didn't look interested. Barnes just didn't want to run. Dewsbury normally is top of his game in that midfield, but he was the one who won. He was the one that let the first goal in pretty much because he kicked the ball off the pitch, and it just didn't look anyone was interested. Obviously, Danny Ward is just another big topic at the moment. He gets a clean sheet against Forest, pretty lucky to save a few shots on goal, and then goes to Bournemouth and has 2 shots at him that pretty much lets in. So you've got to really kind of contemplate who is the issue to who's conceding so many goals. Fafay's came in obviously at the start of the season. I think he's done okay so far, but again, coming against Spurs, losing 6-2, going to who else you got? Brighton as well, 5-2. You just don't know where the issue is really. You can say the defence, you can say the keeper, but then football is a 11-man squad, isn't it? So you've got to think who is the issue here. And that does that mean it's Rodgers?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, because when you talk about motivation, if players are not being consistent in terms of motivation and attitude, then you naturally just look at the manager. Has he got these players on his side? And that's what I was just talking about a few minutes ago. It's going to be interesting. Look, it's going to be interesting going into this game. If Leicester players react to that Bournemouth defeat, or if their heads are just down. They're saying, what is going on? I can't do this anymore. And you expect the reaction, but with a struggling side that's 20th in the league, especially with the attackers, I feel bad for them because they're scoring goals. And it seems like the other players are letting them down. So I think it'll be a very good game. It'll be a very good game despite you sitting 20th in the league, because I still feel like you got the quality. And talking about the quality, now, of course, we know about James Maddison, but is there anyone else that we should be worried about going into this game?
Quality-wise, it all depends who starts. Because for me, a lot of Leicester fans don't really rate him at the moment. But Daka, for me, if he does start, I think he's a threat up front. Barnes, I guess at times he's a bit of a threat, but I'm not really that impressed with him recently. But other than that, I'd maybe say Dewsbury on his day, but again, from last game's performance, he's not been that good at all. So for me, yes, Maddison, and then maybe for me, Daka.
Yeah. And what about on the Palace side of things? Who are you most worried about facing on Saturday?
I think you already know that the one name that's going to come up, and that is Zaha. Obviously, he always kind of gives us a game. He always scores against us on his day as well. But to be honest, there's not many other. Obviously, I know that. I don't know his name now. The winger he brought in.
Elise?
That is it. Yes, he's another one that's kind of a bit more skill based. And then obviously you got Edouard as well. All kind of attacking wise that could really do us in defence. So any of them, if they do well on their day, they can easily get past our defence.
Yeah. And look, we talked about the game. We talked about what's wrong with Leicester. We talked about the positives as well, despite sitting 20th in the league. It's a game that's a must-win for you guys. But for Palace, I don't think it's a must-win, but it's very close to that because we need to build some momentum, some consistency. We beat Leeds. We're facing a side that has been struggling defensively. But enough of the chat now. Let's go to the score prediction. How do you see this one going?
Heart says 2-1 win. And Head says probably a draw at the most. I think you could easily beat us. I think I'd take a draw, but the must win is the 3 points. So it's a definite win for us. But I can easily see us beating us. The same way I can easily see us beating you. So I'm not too sure. I'd say a 2-1 though.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going for a 2-1 as well because I feel like you got decent enough attackers. But with us, how I see it is when we've got Zaha, Elise, Eze, Edouard all on the pitch against the side that's struggling with the defense, I'm expecting goals. I'm expecting goals from both sides. I feel like our defense is strong, but if you target Joe Ward, I think that will be our main weakness in defense, even though he does have some games here and there where he just does step up. But I feel like our attack might be, it depends. I don't know, maybe Leicester, this is the game that Leicester change it around. But I feel like our attack should be causing problems to your defense based on what I've seen so far this season. So I'm going 2-1 Palace. But I feel like we need a strong start to the game because, of course, you guys are at home, sitting 20th. If you have a slow start to the game, the fans can get agitated. And like that, you just, that's the key for this game for me. To have a strong start, upset the King Power Stadium and then build on from there. But look, thank you, Reedy, for coming on. Where can they find you and all your great work?
Well, you can obviously see us on the Leicester Fan TV website and on YouTube and all the other socials as well. And I'm just part of the hosting team. So, yeah, check out everything on Leicester Fan TV as well.
Yeah, make sure to check out Leicester Fan TV to see their great work. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section down below as well. That's it from me, D, and also thanks to Reedy for jumping on. And until next time, up the Palace.